Thank you for joining me for this practice. It is my aim to make content for you and the yoga community that really illustrates the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual journeys of yoga, and to create these practices for each of us as individuals, but also for the greater good. In this practice, I want to respond to some questions I've had about how to move towards lengthening your exhale, getting more comfortable with lengthening the exhale. And I wanted to demonstrate that in relationship with the practice on Nadi Shodhana, Surya Bedhana, and Chandra Bedhana. That practice is listed here. You can see it. If you'd like to do that one before this one, it gets you ready to understand how to use the process of slowing down the inhale to learn how to have the process of slowing down the exhale. So let me know if you have questions, comments. Always helpful if you subscribe to the channel. And let me know how else I can help you with your practice. Thanks again for being here. Good morning. Welcome for practice. We're going to review a little bit what you learned in the last video, in the last lesson on Nadi Shodhana, Chandra Bedhana, and Surya Bedhana. But I'm also going to add to this practice, how do we begin lengthening the exhale comfortably? Because we've heard so much about the value of lengthening the exhale for bringing the parasympathetic nervous system back into balance. So how will we do that comfortably and then get comfortable when the exhale is very quiet and we're kind of in this suspension or lull where we don't even feel that we really need the inhalation to come? So please take a comfortable seat. You can rest your hands in your lap. You're welcome to close your eyes. And let's begin, as always, by really simply noticing what's already happening. And you might want to start that awareness with what's surrounding you. So the temperature in the room that you're sitting, maybe the sounds in your environment. Even if your eyes are closed, you can register the quality of light, whether natural or from electricity. Notice if there's a sense of fragrance or odor, or maybe it's totally neutral. And then let your awareness start to include where your body is seated. So we have these sort of surround senses. Now bring attention to where you're seated. And not for the purpose of evaluating your seat, but simply to notice. We also have this sensory capacity for texture, pressure, contact. And as you observe these different sensations, so sound, space, light, temperature, contact, as you observe all of these, try to sense also the place within you that is capable of observing without judging or storytelling or getting into a narrative about what you're observing. And for the next few moments, I'm going to ask you to breathe into that in you, which gives attention. Wherever you might locate that, or you have some imagination about it, where does it come from? whatever that happens to be, breathe into attention, even if it's like a little pinhole of attention right now. And imagine the breath making that attention a little more circumferential, a little bit wider, a little bit more available. You could imagine that for each inhale, the breath is widening the circumference of your ability for attention. With each exhale, setting aside whatever would be distracting to you. And allow 3 more breath cycles for this. You may be getting a sense of the willingness of your mind or the density of the mind, resistance from your mind, spaciousness. Again, with whatever you notice, quality of the mind, sensation in the foot, whatever you notice, come to it with this quality of non-judging. And then please release the practice and raise your hands to your heart, giving acknowledgement to that in you, which is attention or awareness. So it's the same force of attention you had for your practice yesterday, the larger sense of awareness that you have in those moments of like consciousness or grace in daily life. As you stay connected to that, we'll begin practice with the Gayatri mantra. Om Bhuvasvaha Tatsaveto Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata. Om Bhuvasvaha Tatsaveto Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata. Om Bhuvasvaha Tatsaveto Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayata. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om. You may bow your head to your heart and release your hands, open your eyes. So this principle of sensing, not just the object of attention, but the place from where attention arises. This principle or this practice is asking us to be aware not of the movie of life, nor the screen on which it's being played, but to move back even behind the projector where the light comes from, the light that lets the movie light up, that lets on the way. You probably know this, but you may not think of it very often. The screen on which the movie is being played is completely neutral and empty until the movie comes on, then it's showing up, the movie. But if you watched a movie, let's say you saw the Titanic at the big screen theater, the screen itself never got wet. Maybe you saw a movie that had fire, but the screen itself was never on fire. So that screen on which the movie is being portrayed is also an important element in our understanding of yoga. So there's like this consciousness, this light that comes through, allows us to see and to experience. There's our particular movie. Of course, it's important to us and poignant sometimes and delightful at other times. And then there's that screen on which we're able to actually see the movie. But that screen, again, is neutral. It's objective. It's not being changed by the movie. It's there. For, if it's my movie or your movie or somebody else's movie, it's there. And so that can be kind of mind-boggling sometimes. But I think it quiets down the mind and lessens our confusion because it gives us a direct experience of what yoga is pointing to. This is lemon water. It's a large amount of lemon water. That's how I measure during the day that I drink what I want to from that large, it's a quart-sized mason jar. So what we're going to do here is try to connect to that awareness itself and recognize the screen on which the movie is being played without getting tangled into our movie. So take a seat with your knees wide and place your hands out over your knees. And then make the arms taut, so I'd like you to pull up through the crown of your skull. And as you inhale, start the breath in the low belly, in the pelvis, like below your belly button. And then try bringing the breath into your mid-torso, including the back of your ribs, and then up into the heart. And just get a sense on the first couple of breath cycles, like what's possible there. You may be coming from sleep or other activities, and so you're going to get some information from your body right now. And when you exhale, imagine the exhale breath going from the pelvic floor, tracing a line up the front of your spine. So it tones the low belly, mid belly, upper belly. The exhale leaves out through your nose. The inhale enters through the nose. And try to sense the inhale beginning also at your pelvic floor. And keeping your spine upright and your arms like a little bit taut. There's some tone to your overall body. And having the arms, hands over the knees also gives space for your inhale to expand. Now we're going to begin to add cat and cow pose to this. So as you inhale, roll your spine forward and open your chest, heart, and throat like you're doing cow pose. And then exhale and curl in like you're doing the cat pose. Round your spine into flexion. And follow your inhale to roll up. You want to have a sense like the heart is cresting above the collarbones. And follow your exhale pace to come back down to cat pose. So each of us will go at our own pace. Your pace does not need to be my pace. As you're moving through, start to give a little more awareness to the pauses between inhale and exhale. And see if you can get comfortable with a little suspension, a little pause at the top of the inhale. And a little pause at the bottom of the exhale. I like to think of those pauses a bit like when you're on the swing set and you've swung as far forward and up as you're going to go. There's a moment where it feels like stillness before you go backwards. Let's do this one more time, please. And then come into your neutral seat. Relax the movie-making mind. And see if you might sense the awareness, almost like it comes from somewhere bigger than you. I sometimes feel it comes behind me. And then the screen on which the movie-making mind sort of portrays its thoughts and habits. Okay, now we're going to take the arms out to the side. So just check as part of our movement that you'll have the range of motion that you want and need. And we'll go up overhead as well. Okay, so what we're going to do here is use the physical body, the breath, movement, and so on to get you more and more ready for the inhale that has resistance. Remember how the aperture closes a little bit? And then we're going to get ready for how the exhale can be more durable. And then the exhale pause, it's restful. So on this one, we're simply going to take the arms, first third, middle third, upper third of the breath. And it's going to be continuous right now. We're not going to interrupt it. But I do want you to sense the distinct kind of geographical experience of the breath, lower belly, mid-torso, upper chest, and heart. So take the arms out to the side, turn your palms face out. And let's begin with your own breath pace, of course, but begin with awareness of the first third of your breath and the first third of the movement of your arm. Then come into awareness of the mid third. And then into your upper third. And with the exhale, bring your palms together at your heart and come down through the center line. And then continue from there. So follow your breath pace. You may notice that it's difficult to wait till the last third of the breath to get the last third of the breath in. If you're rushing the beginning of your inhale, please bring a little more thoughtfulness to that, so that you can kind of equally portion the 3/3 of the breath to fill up the torso. Let's do it twice more. Allow again for the pause at the end of your exhale and the pause at the top of your inhale. And then let your hands again rest in your lap. Relax the breath practice altogether and simply listen. sense. Even if it's in imagination, you imagine the movie making mind getting quieter. The source of awareness and the open screen on which the movie gets played. Okay, so now we'll do what I call a blowing off technique. It's where you're blowing off excess between the O2 CO2 ratio. If it's out of balance for you, sometimes you'll find that you don't get a full inhale when you go up to that upper third, or you can't lengthen the inhale to last through those first third, middle third, upper third, or the exhale doesn't feel comfortable getting longer. In that case, the O2 CO2 balance is a little bit off. So we're going to use this blowing off technique to do this, and it'll be 10 powerful breath cycles, strongly in through the nose, out through the nose, in through the nose, out through the nose. Using the diaphragm, think of this like brisk on the inhale and brisk on the exhale. And then we'll inhale to hold, we'll exhale to relax. Okay, like this. Inhale slowly and hold. Relax the bandhas and then exhale slowly, gently, completely. You'll only hold the inhale suspension as long as it's comfortable for you. And we do use the bandhas for that. Okay, let's repeat. Inhale slow. The top of your inhale, you're going to have suspension. Use the bandhas. And always release in your own timing, releasing the bandhas and then exhaling. As you sit in the echo of that practice, allow yourself to really deeply relax. You might sense consciousness or the light of awareness. Maybe it's more accessible. And now we're going to touch into exhale pause. And this is something that you have to get comfortable with by practicing, right? It's not just that you are good at it automatically. Your body's going to need to get comfortable with it and acclimate to it. So one of the ways that I like to train the exhale pause is to exhale slowly while bending forward, because we're going to be using the flexion of the abdominal muscles. We won't be using the hands and arms. We're going to bend forward with the hands lightly held at the small of the back, like this. So if you're sitting on a chair, it's helpful to have another chair in front of you for your head to land on. If you're sitting on the floor, you can put your head on the floor, but that's a long way for some people. So you might stack a block or two on the floor in front of you for your head to rest on. So as we come forward and down, we'll be squeezing the abdominal muscles, squeezing the exhale out. When we get to the bottom of that squeeze, we're not going to inhale. We are going to relax the exhale muscles. So you'll have this sense that you've squeezed to release, and then you relax the exhale muscles, but no inhale comes. Okay, so this is the first time you're going to have exhale suspension. Don't make it any bigger than that. Let it be just a really simple, I squeezed, I relaxed, without inhaling. What you're going to discover is that there is a suction that happens to your body kind of automatically. It will be subtle for some and larger for others, but that suction is okay to live in. Let it get comfortable. Before you inhale, you're going to want to tone the belly. Otherwise, you're going to gasp for the inhale. So you tone the low abdomen and then inhale. And that releases the suction and also the bandhas. And when I say bandhas there, the squeeze, relax without inhaling is going to cause a subtle activation of each of the bandhas. Don't make it bigger right now. We're just touching into getting to learn about this. So place your hands at the small of your back. We will all be at our own pace here, but let's inhale to start.
I do have a quick question. Are we in easy pose or on our knees?
I would say sitting cross-legged. Yeah. If you are kneeling, we use a different placement for the hands. Thank you for the question. Yeah. You can sit in a chair and then fold forward to another chair, but sit with a wide seat on your chair. So the knees are out to the side, like easy pose or sukhasana. Okay. So with your inhale, you can start with a full inhalation. And then exhale and bow forward. You're squeezing the breath out. Exhale through the nose. Stay in your forward fold. And at the end of the exhale, relax your exhale muscles. Notice the suction, whether it's a brief or longer suction. Before you inhale, tone the low belly, and then inhale to rise back up to your seat. And then exhale and relax. Okay, so that's one round. Call it korma mudra or kormasana. Let's try it 5 times, each of us at our own pace. Okay, so when you're ready to, when your body feels ready to, you're going to inhale again. And exhale, squeezing the breath out. And you'll tone the lower belly and inhale to come up at your own timing. And try that for 3 more breath cycles. You may pause between each of the efforts, each of the breath cycles, or you might go sequentially from one to the next. When you have completed those, then you come back up to your seat and relax your hands once again into your lap. And relax the movie-making mind. You're getting a little sense of what it's like in the exhale suspension. In exhale suspension, we do hope that the mind feels quiet and non-panicked there. And that may take practice to come to. So now let's review the Surya Bedhana, Chandra Bedhana, Pratyolama Pranayama, and Nadi Shodhana. We'll do Pratyolama first, actually. And that's where you start to sense how you're conditioning the diaphragm to know how to inhale again. So we're not using the chest muscles or the neck muscles for this inhalation. It's going to rely on the diaphragm to pull down for the inhale to come. A reminder that with this inhale, it's so slow because you're making this slight change, which I'll describe again in a moment. But the inhale is so slow that you really want to sense first third, middle third, upper third of the breath. Allow yourself to really take your time. And the exhale is going to be like a sigh out through the nose with no pressure on the nose. So to slow down the inhale, we provide this little bit of inhale resistance. We're changing the aperture of the inhale. So you use your thumb, ring finger, and pinky to provide a little bit of constriction to the nostrils, like you're just giving it maybe half open. So bring your right hand up, please. And then place your thumb and your ring fingers, ring and pinky fingers. And slowly begin your inhale with a partially closed right and left nostril. When you get to the top of your inhale at your own pace, exhale like you're sighing out through the nose. And then pause between repetitions or go sequentially if it's comfortable for you to do so. And we'll do it 4 times more. So it's a total of 5 altogether. To sense all 3 regions of the lungs and to take your time pacing so you're not complete with the inhale by the time you get to 1.5 areas of the torso. Use the entire lung capacity and the whole torso. When you have completed that 5 times with 5 gentle sighs following each in-breath, then rest your hand again back in your lap. And relax the movie making mind. We're going to use the Chandra Bedhana, Surya Bedhana, Nadi Shodhana practice with this particular way to start your exhale. Okay, so sometimes people have a hard time lengthening the exhale because they wait until the end of the exhale. And at the end of your exhale breath, your body is already preparing for sympathetic activation, which comes during the inhale. So inhale is sympathetic or heating, exhale is parasympathetic or cooling. So lengthen the first part of your exhale rather than trying to force it at the end of the exhale where you're counting like, oh no, am I going to make it? Can I make my exhale even equal to my inhale? Do I have that much capacity? So slow down the first part of the exhale. And a way to do that is when we're exhaling out one nostril at a time, the opposite nostril is closed completely, not forcefully. It's a gentle thing to do to close your nostril. And the exhale nostril is only partway open for the first 2 or 3 counts. And then you let it be open the rest of the way. So don't keep it, you're a beginner on this. So don't keep it closed like partway closed for the whole exhale at first. Just begin with awareness of the first part of the exhale being slower. You can always build on skill, but don't overdo something when you're learning it because your body may find it aversive. And then you may feel like, oh, that didn't quite work for me and not come back to it. So we'll do this with Surya Bedhana first. Okay, so we're going to be closing the left nostril with ring and pinkies. We'll inhale right nostril and the nostril is open, unimpeded. And we're going to exhale on the left side with a partially closed nostril. The right nostril is going to be fully closed for that. So let's bring the right hand up. I'll talk you through it for, let's say, 2 cycles, and then we'll continue for several cycles on our own. So closing the left, right is unimpeded. Let's inhale right nostril. Close the right, partially open the left for the first few counts of your exhale. And then allow that to be more free so the exhale continues at a slow and steady pace. Close the left and inhale right again. Close the right, exhale with the partially open left nostril. And then allow it to be a fully open left nostril. So that is the rhythm that we'll be using. Let's each do it independently now for 4 more breath cycles. Remember to keep it simple and smooth. And during the inhale, to include all 3 regions of your torso. When you finish your next exhale through the left nostril, then you can lower your right hand down. I have a long breath cycle, so I'll stop there, anticipating that you're probably more complete. Don't rush yourself. And then when you come to sit, rest your hands on your lap again. You're welcome to close your eyes. We're going to try that with Chandra Bedhana. So you did Surya. Now we'll do Chandra. Remember that Bedhana means piercing. Surya is sun and Chandra is moon. We're piercing the nadis or the energies that we're going to then take into Nadi Shodhana. Okay, so bring your right hand back up. Same idea. We're going to close the right nostril. We'll start on the left side and we'll be exhaling on the right, and we'll have a partially closed nostril for the first few paces of the exhale. We'll do a total of 6 breath cycles. So let's begin. Remind yourself for the inhale to try to get each third of the breath, lower, middle, upper third of the breath still too. Work at your own pace and notice if the exhale might be gently longer than your inhale. When you complete your next exhale through the right nostril, go ahead and relax your right hand down. And notice again what it's like to focus on lengthening your exhale. Imagine the movie making mind quieting down and the awareness mind becoming larger, more encompassing. Now we're going to put those together in Nadi Shodhana. So you're going to have inhale left nostril to start, exhale right nostril, inhale right, exhale left. We'll be going back and forth, changing the nostril after the inhalation. Again, try to slow down the first part of your exhale, just that much. It's like a little addition to the new practice, Nadi Shodhana. Just slow down the first part of the exhale with a little bit of pressure on the nostril. Okay, so bring your right hand up. Let's close the right nostril. Begin with inhale left. Switch to exhale right in your own timing, slowing down the first part of the exhale. And then you'll inhale right to proceed. Once you exhale on the left, that'll be considered one round of Nadi Shodhana. Let's do 5 rounds from here at your own pace. If possible, the exhale is longer than the inhale, even by 1 or 2 counts. Remind yourself that during the inhale, you're breathing into all 3 regions of the torso. When you complete your rounds for Nadi Shodhana, go ahead and lower your right hand back down. And then return to your comfortable and simple seat. And you can rest your hands where they're comfortable for you, of course. It might be in your lap. Sometimes people like to put one hand on the heart. Sometimes both hands. Rest comfortably and ask the movie-making mind to be quiet. If you might sense that awareness that is behind the movie projector, like the light that comes before the film is being moved through the projector. You sense awareness, the light through the projector. You might also sense that open, empty screen on which the movie is being played. And naturally, your awareness might wander again into a part of your movie, and you get to usher it back, that movie making part, to take its seat in the theater and to rest. Please raise your hands to your heart. Acknowledge your efforts in your practice. And you may bow your head to your heart. And as you like, you can open your eyes, release your hands. Thank you for being here for this practice. I hope you do find it beneficial and instructional, and may the movie making mind be a little bit more manageable. You can sense awareness itself. Anytime you place your awareness on something and you get those mindful moments, the object of attention is really important, but it's also a chance to pause, connect, and then reconnect to that larger awareness. Thank you. Thank you once again for sharing your practice. I'm always glad that you're here. If there was something useful for you in this practice, please leave a comment down below, leave a question. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That helps me to keep producing content for you and for the community at large. Thank you very much for being here. See you next time. Namaste.